So how much does it cost to sell my house? I clicked on this video because you probably are thinking about selling your house and you're wondering what the real costs are. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today on this video. Hi, I'm Jim Fong. I'm an investor and real estate agent in Las Vegas. And I'm going to show you line by line on a net sheet what it's going to cost you to sell your home. Just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to use a nice round number like 500,000, or that's what we're going to use as our example for the house that we're selling. First things first, what costs the most when selling your home? It's the commissions. Right now, on average, a lot of real estate agents charge around 3% to list your home, all right? So right off the bat right there, 3% of 500K is $15,000, all right? Obviously, everything's negotiable, all right? I mean, there are people that, list for 1% or whatever, but, my thoughts are you get what you pay for too. So, I mean, figure out what works for you. With the new recent changes in real estate commissions, it is very likely that you may receive offers where the buyer is requesting for you to pay a commission to their agent as well too. That is negotiable. I've seen them anywhere from 2% to 3% is a real common thing right here. So keep that in mind. You don't have to pay it, but if it gets the deal done, it might be something that you have to consider. Next thing is your title insurance policy. So whenever you as a seller are selling a property, you have to insure or provide insurance that there's free and clear title on your property, or meaning there's no liens, you don't owe anything on the property. If someone buys it, you're guaranteeing that they're getting free and clear title, all right? And that's what the title policy is about. And for a $500,000 home here in Clark County or Las Vegas, that's going to run you about $1,800, all right? So that's the next item. The next cost you should consider is in Nevada, we use escrow companies, all right? Some other states, they use attorneys and things like that. Well, here in Nevada or Las Vegas, we use escrow companies. And for a $500,000 home, your escrow fees are going to be around $800. This is just for the independent third party or escrow company to just take the contracts and just facilitate the transaction, all right? And they're just ensuring that you as the seller are doing your part and the buyer is doing their part. They're just making sure everybody adheres to the contract. So moving on down, on selling a home, you're pretty much going to expect to pay some type of recording fees, okay? That's with the Clark County Recorder Office. So if you sell a property or buy a property or something like that, they need to change names on the deeds. They need to record the new deed with the new owner. That costs money. Record a new deed, it's $42, all right? It's not a lot, but you should know about all your fees. And then moving on to the next step, you'll probably pay some type of notary fee because that deed that you just recorded, it requires a notary stamp on it too. Just know that you're not the only one paying for it. The buyer, if they're getting a mortgage, they're probably gonna have to sign a bunch of loan documents that also need to be notarized too. So kind of goes both ways. You will pay some type of notary fees. I put an estimate in here about $200, all right? It's an average cost. I think that might be in consideration if you need like a mobile notary to come meet you at your work or your home or something like that. A lot of times, if you go into the escrow company, you might be able to just have their notary do everything for you. They may or may not charge you on that, okay? So I'm just gonna put $200 there for that. If you're selling out of state especially, you'll probably need some type of mobile notary or someone to notarize that for you. Next item is a more significant amount, and that is the transfer tax. In Las Vegas, we are in Clark County. In Clark County, our transfer tax for selling properties are $5.10 per thousand of the sale price, okay? So in this case, at $500,000, the transfer tax on this would be $2,550. Or this could be a negotiable item, but more common than not, the seller does pay this transfer tax usually, unless we're in a hyper seller's market where buyers are waiving appraisals, paying over list price and doing all that stuff. In that type of market, a buyer might offer to pay this fee, but in a more stable, traditional, or normal market, sellers usually will pay the transfer tax. So if you're looking to get like a real net sheet like this, line by line items with all your expenses and costs, my number is on the screen. Reach out to me. I'll give you a very detailed net sheet as well with line by line items, so you know what you're selling for and you know what your true bottom line that you're gonna net is, okay? And if you thought that was interesting, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I post videos like this all the time. A lot of these fees here are, I mean, in real estate, everything's negotiable, right? So you may pay it or you may not, depending on the market, like I just said, right? So the next item is maybe a home warranty. It's not like a seller has to pay a home warranty, but I talk to a lot of sellers that when I'm in their living room or whatever and we're talking about it, they tell me, oh yeah, I have to provide that, don't I? And I always tell them, well, you don't have to, but it's very commonly done. So that's something to consider as well too, a home warranty, all right? Obviously it's negotiable, but if you do in fact pay for a home warranty for the buyer, you're looking at $500 to $600 for that too, depending on the real estate agent that you work with. They may or may not have a transaction fee. It's usually for their brokerage. I think average for that is around $500 to $1,000. I've seen even. It's different with every agent and different brokerages as well too. And then finally, something else that you might consider, if you own a house that's in an HOA, you will have to pay for an HOA transfer fee. You will have to provide what they call a resale package, which is basically like all the rules, regs, bylaws, budgets, minutes, and a HOA demand, which is basically like a final bill, just to make sure that there's no dues owed on the HOA. So all of that added up together, I mean, you can expect anywhere from $750 to $1,000 for all those fees. And if you live in a master plan community that has sub-associations and other things like that, it could even be more too. Chances are this, I know you probably don't like to hear that you're gonna have to pay for this, but when you bought this house in this HOA, the seller that you bought it from paid for all those things for you too. So, you know, you're just paying it forward or however you wanna look at it, right? What are some other possible variable fees I'm just gonna cover? If you are selling to a buyer that is using a VA loan, which is for veterans of the military. For VA loans, you have to pay all the escrow fees, and then you also have to pay for a termite inspection fee. That's just a small difference when working with VA loans that you may consider. A termite inspection is probably around $100. Escrow fees, I mentioned before, it's like $800, so you might pay double that if you have to cover the buyer side too. All in all, when you add up all these fees that I mentioned already too, I mean, you're looking around $22,000 approximately. Wow, that sounds like a lot, right? But I just wanted to, you know, be really honest and transparent with you on this video that these are the numbers that you're looking at. You know, this is a very big asset that you own. It's a very high price. We're talking $500,000 in our example here. So, I mean, that is the cost it's going to take for you to sell it. Each offer and each sale is unique on it in its own way, because these HOA fees, these taxes, and all these things, they're going to all vary a little bit depending on the property. All right. So you have to work with an agent that understands these things and is able to negotiate on your behalf to keep these costs lower for you as a seller, or at least getting a high price for you so it offsets the cost that you are about to incur to sell the house. Where do you find an agent like this? Well, good news for you is you've already found him. He is I, and I am him. His number's right here on the screen. Be sure to reach out. In this video, I used 500K as the example, but obviously your house is unique. And if you want to get a more precise analysis or breakdown of what your home is worth, go to the description below and click the link. It'll take you to my free home evaluation page where we'll give you an idea of what your home is worth or what the market value is for it. If you like videos like this, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. I like to share a lot of information about real estate, investing, things like that too. Thanks for watching this video. And if you have any specific questions or you want me to cover a certain topic, leave a comment for me below and I'll be sure to get to that. Thanks for watching again. I'll see you on the next one.